I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing dimes over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL live tuning, you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Next level like my entertainment. NXT on the stream, 8 p.m. on the beat. Catch me on the cam like I'm SFL commence. Yeah, you only got one chance, you can never miss. For the glory, revolution, feel my fury. Cause I'm a legend out in Canton, and I'm playing with dragons. I'm the king of this legion. SFL action, tune in this season.
Kickoff! Are you kidding me?
All they're gonna need is
Big pop, it's up in the air!
There you go!
That's the kickoff city's gonna win!
He's gonna go! Taser power! Touchdown!
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up.
And welcome to the SFL's Saturday Showcase along with Mike St. Green. I am Cameron Irvine, and today it's the DC Dragons versus the Minnesota Legend. Season 19, Week 12. Good afternoon, Mike St. Green. How are you?
Good afternoon, Cam. Great to be here, man. We are coming down the home stretch of Season 19. It's been exciting so far, and we're expecting another exciting game here tonight.
Yes, we certainly are. We had plenty of good action last night. We'll have those highlights at halftime. And here today, Mr. St. Green, it is the DC Dragons 9-1 against the 6-4. Check that, 8-1 DC against the 5-4 Minnesota Legend. And this game should be epic because Minnesota just is coming off of the Baltimore, the victory over the Baltimore Vultures, and it was a tremendous win and accomplishment for Minnesota, but now they got to go out and do it again, beat another elite team here in this league.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Another elite team, and their only loss is to that same Baltimore Vultures that the Minnesota Legend happened to beat. And the thing is, are they going to have like a hangover from last week? But I don't think so, because I've heard, in sports that defense travels. And so that means even though this team is at home, they play great defense. And actually both teams do. But this Minnesota Legend defense, they've been excellent all season long. They're one of the few teams that's kind of held that great London offense, kind of in check this season. And I expect more of the same next.
The Minnesota Legend are a half game back of the Sioux Falls Sparrows in the Central Division. After Sioux Falls got their win last night, Tulsa plays tomorrow. This is one of the tighter divisions in the league. And then DC is playing for their division as well. A half game back of Baltimore. The Vultures are off this week. The two will have a rematch in Week 14, the last week of the regular season. But Mike, this game for both of these teams, not only does it mean staying in divisional races, but in Minnesota's case, they lose this game, they fall into 500 hell at the bottom of the power ranking. So I'm not sure which team feels like this game is more important for, DC or Minnesota. What do you think about that?
Well, a big game, of course, for both teams, as you mentioned, but I lean towards Minnesota, this being a bigger game for them. As you mentioned, a loss here that puts them in 500, and down there in that, playoff bottom of the run, see who's going to get in, or maybe who's going to, not quite make it, as well as they'll keep pace with a victory with Sioux Falls, as you mentioned, that won last night. So a bigger game for them, but a big game for DC as well. A win here pretty much sets up a winner-take-all matchup in Week 14 if both teams handle their business next week with DC and Baltimore. And that would be great to see. But lean towards Minnesota Legend. It's being a bigger game for them to keep pace and stay at the top of the Central Division.
And on that note, Mike, for Minnesota, if they beat Baltimore and DC in back-to-back weeks, it's kind of hard to imagine this team losing again until the playoffs. I mean, if you beat Baltimore and DC in back-to-back weeks, who else is going to stand in your way? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hadn't quite looked ahead to see who they have in front of them, but
not Baltimore and DC.
but any given sim day, as I've said before, we don't know what could possibly happen. I think they have Indianapolis again later in the season with that rivalry that these two expansion teams are developed early on in their lifespan in the league. So anything can happen, but yeah, it'll be hard to believe that anybody could beat this team if they would beat two of the top teams in the league that we have right now. If
you're tuning in for London and Los Angeles, that game was flexed out to our SFL Twitch channel. You can see that game kick off at the top of the hour at twitch.tv/simulationfl. And why was that flexed out, Mike? Well, LA is now a 17.5-point dog. They were upset by Queen City last weekend, and London just took it to the Corsairs a couple of weeks ago. This London team, Mike, they're totally flying under the radar. They are plus 175 in point differential. They're only plus 27 in a season away from setting an SFL record for point differential. They are still unbeaten, and they take their talents to Cali today.
Yeah, historic season for the Knights thus far. The highest win total right now in franchise history. These guys are the top team in the league. They brought back an incredible roster this season. And then on top of that, man, Johnny Pickler, he's having probably one of his best seasons in the league thus far. 20 touchdowns, which is down from the the high flying thing that we've seen London do the past couple of years. But he's very much more efficient than he has been. He leads the league in QBR, and one reason why he's able to do that, he stands protected in that pocket. Only been sacked 7 times all season long, and then he has the great weapon, MVP candidate. Robert Merrill, 18 touchdowns rushing on the ground, leads the league with over 1,500 yards rushing. He has an outside shot at making it to that 2,000-yard plateau, and he's accounted for 24 of the Knights' touchdowns. And then when Pickler does want to air it out, he's Fox Highwind is having a breakout season as well, 9 receiving touchdowns on that end. And then when you look to the defensive side of the ball, this is how dominant this team has been. And you're talking about a possible league MVP and definitely offensive MVP candidate. Then you talk about Cam Crosby, who is definitely a defensive player of the year candidate. 15 sacks, head and shoulders above anybody else in the SFL.
Absolutely, and that's a great point about Crosby, because he's just been terrific for this team, and another one of those storylines that a lot of people just aren't talking about. And for the Los Angeles Lycans, I feel like the only way they're going to pull an upset today is if Logan Shack goes crazy, or if the secondary goes crazy. Every once in a while, London can have one of those games. Pickler can have one of those games where he throws 5, 6, 7 interceptions. LA's got a great secondary, but it's going to be tough sledding for the Lycans. This is a tough time of season to take on a perennial powerhouse of that from the last couple of months.
Yeah, and if it's going to happen for LA, of course, it's going to happen on the defensive end. The secondary is great. They're solid, as you mentioned, but Gary Marks and Ace Blackwell up front with that defensive line, they have 9 sacks and 6 sacks respectively. And as we mentioned, Pickler's been hard to get to this season. If it's going to happen, these guys are going to have to perform and maybe try to take Pickler down, put a lot of pressure on him, maybe force some turnovers, and LA can maybe pull out a tight one.
All right, well, moments away after the break, it is the Minnesota Legend and the DC Dragons. 5-4 Minnesota, 8-1 DC. Should be a terrific football game. We will see you back after the break. Mike Daggs, Gerald Smith with the call. It's the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Mike St. Green and I will see you back here at the half. Enjoy the game.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Good afternoon, everybody. Week 12 action continues this evening at Northwood Stadium in St. Paul, Minnesota, as the Minnesota Legend will host the DC Dragons. Good afternoon. I am Mike Daggs. Joining me in the booth is the king of nicknames, Gerald Smith. With us on stats, Dakota Buzz and Mel Davis. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Gerald, how you doing this evening?
Doing great. A potential playoff preview. We couldn't ask for a better matchup.
I agree, Gerald. Today's game features two teams in a hotly contested playoff race in their division. DC on an 8-game win streak, and they're still in second place in the Atlantic Division. They're red hot, but looking up at the division leader, Baltimore. Minnesota did DC a favor, though, and served Baltimore up with their first loss of the season last week, which also gave the Legend their second win in a row. These two wins created a three-way tie for first place in the Central Division with Sioux Falls and Tulsa. And with Sioux Falls winning last night, they'll need to win here to keep up. Both teams desperately need to win tonight in an attempt to take a lead in their respective divisions. How are they going to go about doing that?
Yeah, this game has playoff implications written all over it, with both teams needing this win to keep pace in their divisions with the division leaders. This game means the most to Minnesota, as a loss could put them on the outside looking in at this point in the season. The Legend would have to rely on their defense, who are number 4 in total defense and points allowed coming in this week. To be able to slow down the DC offense, who has the number 6 scoring offense in the league and the number 4 rushing offense. Not to mention, they turn the ball over the second fewest in the league on one. Oh, and one more thing. DC also boasts the number 5 scoring defense. Whichever team elevates their play today should come out on top.
All right, well, as Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that's on the field. So we'll head down to the field where kickoff is underway. DC is going to be out on offense first, and they return the ball up to the 25-yard line, and that is where the quarterback, 6 seasons in the league, Shabazz Synergy, will take to the field for the DC Dragons. The starting offense for the Dragons, quarterback Shabazz Synergy, the halfback Kevin Say, fullback Chuck Steller, the wide receivers Gus Scott, Ronnie Shanahan, Mike Churchill, and Josh Gill. The tight ends, Lauren Percoco and Craig Westlake. three wide receiver set here on first down. Synergy throws over the middle and wide open is his target. Complete up to the 43-yard line. That's Mike Churchill with the catch.
And now the DC's coming out firing right there with that quick strike to Mike Churchill. They're wasting no time, almost at midfield already.
First down and 10 from the 43. Back to the three wide receiver look. Tight end on the field as well. Running back alongside Synergy. Another pass over the middle, and that one's also complete. A couple of back-to-back deep throws over the middle. Josh Gill receiving this one. Another first down already in Minnesota territory, Gerald.
Yeah, and I know it's just the beginning of the game, but it seems like DC has seen something, scouting this team, and they're able to just find that hole in between, the behind the linebacker right in front of the safeties.
Staying in the same formation, shorter pass this time, but that one good for a gain of 8. Brings up a second down and 2 from the 31-yard line. Caught by Ronnie Shanahan. The starting defense for the Legend. The defensive line, Angela Meerkat, Mark Mello, Buster Johnson, and Max Knight. The linebackers, B.J. Lovelace, Axel Raven, and Juan Mississippi. The secondary, Cody Griffin, Johnny Bravo, Rick Evans, Daniel Wright, Tyga Clay, and Derek Meerkat. Changing it up a bit, I formation on second down and 2. Ball is handed off to Kevin Say for the first time this evening, and that will result in a loss of 1. Third down and 3.
The way that those first few plays went for DC, it's almost seemed like they had that thing scripted, right? Hey, this is going to do, we're going to come out kind of throwing, man, and they actually, ended up getting, 43 yards on just 3 plays for the first 3 plays up into this negative gain right there.
On third down, Synergy will throw it out to Say. Say gets the first down and more. Spins up to the 22-yard line and is brought down by Daniel Wright. Sets up another first down.
And Say is one of the more dynamic backs in the league. Him. I mean, he's number 3rd in rushing coming into this week. And he's averaging 6.8 yards a carry. I know it was a dump off, but he's a guy that can make some plays for you.
Play action on first down, throwing it out to the right-hand side. That one in danger of being picked off. B.J. Lovelace in on the coverage. Falls harmlessly to the turf. Second down.
Synergy has been pretty protective over the ball. Coming in this week, I'm not sure what he saw there because Lovelace was right over there. He was right in the path, and it just kind of bounced off his hands there.
Second down and 10. Back to the 3 receiver look. Synergy out to the right. That one is complete. First down and more. Gus Scott getting it up to the 8-yard line. First down and goal for the Dragons.
And this drive it's ridiculously efficient right now. The Minnesota defense here, it seems like they're just giving them so much cushion there for them to be able to, make these plays, whether they're finding the holes right behind the linebackers or getting something pretty nice and simple on an out route like that.
Synergy 5 of 6 for 63 yards so far on this opening drive. That's 83% completion percentage. Very efficient indeed. 4 receivers now on the field for first down and goal. 3 minutes into the drive, Synergy steps up in the pocket, pressure coming, and he's sacked. Brought down at the 13-yard line, sacked on the play by Max Knight.
And I have to give credit to the defensive back and the linebacker that was covering these receivers out there as well, because nobody was open, right? So Synergy knew he had to do it. He tried to roll out a little bit to give his wide receivers a little bit more time to get open, but he couldn't, and Max Knight was all on his back.
7.5 sacks on the season now for Max Knight. He is the leader on this defense. Dumping it down to Kevin Say behind the line of scrimmage. He's fortunate to even get back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like he's injured. Kevin Say down on the turf.
Holy cow. We've seen this before where Say has gone down and they've actually, kind of rallied and won a game. Oh man, combo tackle between
Yeah, B.J. Lovelace ultimately brought him down. It was a pair of linebackers, Axel Raven making the initial contact. B.J. Lovelace finishing him off.
That was That was a heck of a hit. That's that's for sure.
Well, this is what you do when that happens. You just come out 5 wide. 3rd down and goal from the 13. Synergy. High snap, hauls it in. Pass over the middle. End zone touchdown, Dragons.
And it was like
right into Gus Scott's hands. His 3rd touchdown on the season.
And it was like there was nothing, right? It's just next man up, right? Come out, like you said. Hey, look, hey, our man went down. We're coming out 5 wide. It's 3rd down. We're down here at the 13-yard line. We're gonna drop back to pass, and he was able to beat the coverage and get in the end zone. Perfect throw. It's a great start, especially considering right at the end of that drive, they lost their star running back. But that's how you got to do it. You still got to finish the drive, and they did.
10-play, 70-yard drive resulting in a touchdown. The first 5 passes went to 5 different receivers. Gus Scott, the first receiver to get a second reception, and that one was good for 6. Kevin Say was hurt earlier in the season, like you mentioned, Gerald. It was in a game against Vancouver. He was hurt early on, and DC still was able to win that game. So it's definitely a deep team. They're at 8-1 right now, and not only are they on that 8-game win streak, but 8 wins is also a franchise best. The team's been around for several seasons, starting out in season 5. They went for seasons 5, 6, and 7, then took a break for a while, came back in season 16. But out of all the seasons they've had, 8 wins is a franchise best, and looking to add to it. Keep an eye out for updates on Kevin Say. Hopefully he's able to return. But for now, Minnesota gets their first crack at it on offense. Quarterback Johnny Reno leading the offense out onto the field. The halfback is Colin Hart. Fullback Tank Williams. The wide receivers Buchanan Simons, Quag Mam, Jay Taylor, and Adam Banks. The tight ends Christian Bacigalupi and Jason France. Just love that name, Gerald. Reno. Quick pass over the middle. Well defended. That one's incomplete. Trying to hit Jay Taylor. 2nd down.
Yeah, I think Bacigalupi, I think he won the season 19 name contest here, especially in our booth. That's for sure.
Oh, he sure did if I get a vote. I mean, well, I guess if I got the only vote, he would win. If other people got a vote, I don't know. Somebody else might get it, but it just rolls right off the tongue.
Not quite with my southern pronunciation, but gets my vote regardless.
Reno back to pass, swings it out to Colin Hart. Colin Hart stiff arms the defender, lowers his shoulder, and almost gets to the line to gain. 3rd down and inches after a nice catch and run by Colin Hart.
Yeah, Declan O'Rourke thought he had a beat on him and get him for relatively no gain, and Colin Hart had other ideas, hit him with that arms of steel, and power through him, and now we got a 3rd and short.
Reno under center. Will throw, gets it back to Hart. Hart with plenty of room to run past the 40. Gets up to the 43-yard line. Easy 1st down conversion on that play. The starting defense for the Dragons, the defensive line, Saeed Gore, John Gary, Jose Fuentes, and Benny Butcher. The linebackers, Declan O'Rourke, Riley Cuse, and Nathaniel Diggs. The corners, John DeSantis, Peanut Say, and Daryl Bullock. The safeties, Ty Woodson, Jorge Torres, and Josh Vasquez. 1st down and 10 from their own 43. Two backs in the backfield for Minnesota. Reno gets it out to Hart on the 3rd consecutive play. Hart able to get 8. Brings up a 2nd down and 2, just passing the midfield line in DC territory at the 49.
Yeah, and this is something that Minnesota's done quite often with Colin Hart, right? He's actually 10th in the league in receptions coming into this week, right? So they like to use him out of the backfield. The only downside of that, like coming into this week, he only has 3.5 yards per reception. So, but he's been getting chunk yardage thus far.
Reno takes his time and throws. That one is batted away by Peanut Say. 3rd down and 2, and Gerald, I would half expect to see them go back to that Colin Hart swing route here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's been getting them their most yardage so far, on this drive, right? And it looks like the way the DC defense is playing, right, seems like they're giving it to them. So, if Reno takes a look at what they're giving them, with their guys kind of playing off, and it looks like they're playing some sort of a man coverage here. So if they do dump it off to Colin Hart, they might have some room.
They've already converted a third down once on this drive. Can they do it again? No. Colin Hart taking the handoff and running right into the waiting arms of Nathaniel Diggs. They'll spot it right back at the midfield line. 4th down and 2. And from midfield, it's always so tempting to go for it, but it looks like the punting unit is out on the field. So Minnesota's first drive comes to a grinding halt after what looked like a promising start.
It was look, and on that last play, I got to give credit to that defender right there. Right, he was able to knock that offensive lineman down and create quite the hole for his linebacker teammate to just come in there and make that play.
First down and 10 for DC at their own 18-yard line. Had a great opening drive. See what they can do on drive number 2. Very efficient, as you mentioned, Gerald. Sebastian Synergy, 7 of 8, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Nearly a perfect quarterback rating. You would think it almost would be. Synergy swings it out down to the bottom. And Kevin Say, we have an update, but we can't see it. Gerald, I think it's a curse of ours that happens every time we get an update. There's also stats at the same time. So it's just going to be a mystery. But for now, Kevin Samuels. Samuels.
Or we're gonna have Mr. Mr. Jermaine Smith knocking on that door, so you can't call our darn games because you got the curse on our star running back here.
I think we do. He's not going to be pleased, and that's not a man that you want to make upset. Free play. We'll see what they want to do. They got a nice gain by Kevin Samuels, but they will actually accept the penalty. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, it's still early on in the game. It probably ultimately won't matter, but the running play went for more yards than the penalty. So they're actually backing the ball up a little bit, but it remains first down instead of, I guess I thought they accepted the penalty. It looks like they declined.
Yeah, to give themselves about, 2 plays to get 4 yards instead of 1 play to get 2. I like them accepting the penalty there.
Well, on second down and 4, Samuels takes the handoff again and only gains a yard. 3rd down and 3. So, yeah, if they had accepted it, Gerald, it would have been 1st down and 5. But I guess they declined it, and it was 2nd down and 4. So now already 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, it's strange.
A gamble.
But, look, they can. I think they can get this there. Ooh.
Synergy. Out route down to the right. Tipped, and Mike Churchill nearly able to get the completion, but that one falls down to the turf. 4th down and 3. So the Dragons' second drive not quite as good as the first. Don Wilson on to punt for DC.
Yeah, with this lead, right? Them up 17-0 and having to strengthen their defensive side as well. It seemed like they just played this drive a little bit conservative. The one I liked, like whenever they played against Vancouver, they threw the ball at the end of it all 57 times, right? So they relied on, their quarterback to make plays.
Punt taken up at the 45-yard line. Adam Banks in on the return, and, ultimately, Gerald, they were at midfield, had to punt. Defense did what they needed to do, and they get the ball back only 5 yards shy of where they were. So Minnesota basically picking up right where they left off on drive number 1.
Yeah, and they can make something happen here, man. They just have to find especially getting Colin Hart involved out of the backfield, which has been the most successful side of their offense thus far.
You were saying Colin Hart tackled for a loss on the play. Second down and 12.
They got to dump it to him. They got to throw it to him coming out of it. Handing it to him hasn't been successful thus far.
Not yet. They've only handed it to him a couple of times, but so far that's just gone for negative yardage. Second down and 12.
Here comes the dump off.
Reno does what Gerald says and dumps it down to Colin Hart, lowers his shoulder, and is able to gain 5 on the play. That's up a 3rd down and 7, and that's what you want to do on a 2nd down and long. Try to get about half of it back. Not quite half, but it sets up a third and a manageable 7.
And it's going to be interesting on how they kind of handle these third downs, right? Because they haven't been overly successful in these third downs, right? So far this game. So, it's going to be interesting how they handle it if they can convert these things.
Reno throws into traffic, but that one is caught, and they are able to convert. First down and 10 from the DC 40, connecting with Adam Banks.
And that is actually the first reception by a Minnesota receiver this game. So, very important thing to get your receivers involved. I mean, you're throwing the ball downfield and not out of the backfield to your running back. So it's important that they come off and they do that as well, right? Not only getting your running back involved, out of the backfield, but also getting your wide receivers involved. Because if you can't push the ball down the field, I don't think you're going to be very successful.
Reno to throw once again, trying to connect with another receiver, and does. I believe that was Quig Mam. Nope. Correction, that was Buchanan Simons, the 9-season vet. First season on Minnesota, well, along with every other player. Coming over in free agency from Charleston. A nice acquisition by the legend.
And I'm really liking the way they're doing it, right? They're getting aggressive here, and they're going to try to push the ball down the field.
Reno under pressure quickly dumps it down to Hart. Tackled for a loss on the play, Gerald, but it looked like he was about to get sacked anyway. So one loss is as good as the next, I suppose.
Well, I guess quarterbacks are not really known for taking hits and holding on to the ball quite well. So I don't blame him for dumping it off. You see a big, large man coming at you like you seen coming right up the middle. I would do the same thing here. Just get rid of it, and you have a safety valve out there in Colin Hart, and hopefully you can make some plays.
3 receivers set, 2 backs in the backfield. Reno under center. Reno has time, throws over the middle. That one is caught for a nice gain. We'll gain 9 on that one, Gerald. That was into heavy coverage as well. 3rd down and 3, 30 seconds to go here in quarter number 1.
Yeah, Adam Banks has been finding a little bit of space, getting behind the linebackers there and finding himself, quite open. So this 3rd and short, they might run, they might pass.
Gets it out too hard. Oh, nice block, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Colin Hart. That play's been working well for him today, Gerald, and that time it goes for 6.
Yep, and he had his tackle, Mr. McGregor, out there leading the charge. Watch him. He got out there pretty quick, and and Reno got the ball out to him quick. McGregor's right there, bam. Put a hit right on the linebacker right there on Riley Hughes, and that sprung his teammate for the score, and that's the drive they needed to get their ball club back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. 7 plays, 50 yards, 15 yards swing route pass to get them into the end zone for 6. Mickey Melillo onto the field for the extra point. Kick is up, and it's good. Colin Hart, he's definitely been active, Gerald, but in the receiving game so far. If you are new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Melillo puts the ball into the air. 14 seconds left in the first quarter. Return taken up to the 26-yard line, and the Dragons will come back out onto the field. Kevin Say watch is underway because we are not sure of his status. So every DC drive will be a mystery, Gerald.
Yeah, until we see that 2-0 in the huddle or even on the field, it's going to be we're going to wonder if he's healthy or he's not.
Synergy to throw, tipped and incomplete. Was trying to connect with Josh Gill and unable to find his hands. 2nd down.
And Minnesota has a really good pass defense as well, right? So with them, with the star running back being out, it seems like they might have to throw the ball a little bit more to be able to move the ball like they're accustomed to. So it's one good thing about DC. They don't turn the ball over, right? They have the second fewest turnovers in the league, so they're pretty protective of the ball. You know what I mean? So, but going up against that pass defense, we're going to see who's going to prevail.
3 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. They throw to the right. That's into the hands of Lauren Percoco. She makes the catch, gets out of bounds after a 6-yard gain at the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 4.
And these 3rd and shorts are going to be a situation that's going to prove tough without Kevin Say in the game.
Well, we will see if Kevin Say returns as this game rolls on. But for now, that's the end of the first quarter. Dragons 7, Legends 7. Find out what happens next after this. Stay with us. And welcome back to St. Paul, Minnesota. Dragons in possession of the football. Ball is handed off to Kevin Samuels. What a spin move by the backup halfback. He gets the first down, converting on a 3rd down and 4, Gerald. You said it was going to be tough for him with Kevin Say out. Kevin Samuels says, watch this.
Yeah, somebody must have played him back that sound clip coming from me, because he's like, you know what? We may not have Kevin Say, but we do have a Kevin, and his name's Samuels, and he can put moves on somebody too.
You know, and it's funny, too, because, Kevin Samuels was in the game for most of the DC-Vancouver game and did an admirable job. I mean, for being called up into action without a lot of prep. He was able to get a lot done in that game. DC was able to win. See what they can do in this one. Out route up to Lauren Percoco. Good for a gain of 9. Sets up the Dragons with a 2nd down and 1 in Minnesota territory.
Yeah, and look, it's 9 yards on 1st down. Now we're going to see if Mr. Samuels is going to come out and say, look, I can get up these short yardage situations too.
Lauren Percoco was 2 receptions, 18 yards last week in their win over Tulsa. Already has 2 for 15 this week. And Kevin Samuels not doing quite as well that time. He'll lose 3 on the play. Well defended by Minnesota. Brought down to the backfield by Cody Griffin. 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, and maybe I'm gonna try that comment again and see if we can, spring Mr. Samuels. But it is 3rd down and short, and we're gonna see what they do. This, this looks like a passing situation, but we'll see.
Well, Samuels converted a 3rd down and 4 earlier in the drive. Play action this time. They'll go over the middle, and that one is complete. Chuck Steller getting involved, throwing it to the fullback.
Oh God! And another player's down. Churchill's injured on the play. Oh my God! What is Minnesota? What is Minnesota doing to these offensive players in DC?
Brutal. First down and 10. Synergy out route down to the bottom. And a little discombobulated. Josh Gill gets the catch and then runs back a little bit. We'll keep an eye out for an update on Mike Churchill. I didn't even see what happened to him. It just, popped up on the screen showing us that he was injured, but I tried to watch the replay to see if I could see what happened, Gerald. I'm not really sure. So Samuels running off tackle to the right, only able to gain a yard. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, these injuries thus far, right? We don't know the extent of those injuries on those 2 players, but it's definitely going to test this DC offense against this really, really good Minnesota defense.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 wide on 3rd down. Synergy pumps, throws over the middle. That one's complete. Hitting Lauren Percoco for her 3rd catch, and they're going to need to rely on players like Lauren Percoco and Craig Westlake, the tight ends, to step up in place of Churchill and Kevin Say. Both of them used heavily in the pass game. Kevin Say, we talk about what he's doing on the ground, Gerald. You mentioned he's 3rd in rushing yards this season. He'd probably be even higher than that if he wasn't out for most of the Vancouver game. But also 62 receptions, 436 yards in receiving. That's a lot to lose out on. Synergy out route up top, and that one is complete. And running down the sidelines into the end zone all the way for 6. Ronnie Shanahan, touchdown Dragons.
That out route looked like it was going nowhere. He tight-roped the sideline, and one of the best portions of this play is the block by Gus Scott somewhere around the 5-yard line, and you'll see it right here where he picked up his teammate and said, "Look, I got you, boo. I'm going to let you get in the end zone right there."
Oh, that was beautiful. I thought he was going to be out of bounds, and you saw on that replay, he's just right up against that sideline, but no question, he was still in bounds by a good foot and was able to get into the end zone for 6. Beautiful out route. Synergy, 14-16, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Somehow, Gerald, his quarterback rating still not perfect. It's 142.2. Just absolutely sinister. The SFL Network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community. The SFL's greatest games, like the Mexico City and Louisiana game yesterday, am I right? From the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. You can download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone. You can also get it on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL Network, where SFL creators come together. Ball is returned by Adam Banks up to the 22-yard line. That is where Minnesota will take over, now trailing the Dragons by 7.
Yeah, and I must congratulate Mr. Ronnie Shanahan on his first touchdown reception of his very short career. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and what a way to do it, too. Not a heavily used receiver in this offense. Came into today's game, 7 receptions for 59 yards, and able to step up in place of Mike Churchill, and was the benefactor of that injury. Was Shanahan able to get that touchdown? So Minnesota coming out firing as well, as Ray Matson gets a reception.
Oh man, and that was great timing there by Mr. Reno, right? Just letting his receivers clear, those linebackers that had that short coverage, and been able to fit it right in the hole to be able to hit his receiver in stride.
I formation on 1st down and 10 from their own 36. Reno out route down to the bottom and nearly picked off. So Mike Churchill, look at that, Gerald. We can actually see the update. Leg cramp, he might return. So we'll keep an eye out for Churchill. Ronnie Shanahan sitting on the sideline saying, "You just rest. You're doing fine over here on the bench. I got you."
Yeah, he definitely proved his worth on that last play for that touchdown.
Yeah, well, that's why you have depth, right? I mean, you never know when your number's going to get called, and it's a big moment for him there. Another quick pass over the middle to Adam Banks is good for another first down. Just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Yeah,
and Adam Banks has been their other than Colin Hart out of the backfield, he's been their bright spot, catching the ball down the field. So he's, it seemed like they're definitely developing a good relationship, at least this game, quarterback to receiver.
3 receiver set. Hand the ball off. Colin Hart still not able to get a lot going in the running game, Gerald. In fact, even with that 1-yard gain, still has negative yardage on the day. 3 rushing attempts. Well, they'll spot him with an even 0.
Yeah, he's more in the bottom half of running backs, on yards per carry. So, I don't think it's, they're not the way they use him, right? It's really out of the backfield too much. As far as running, but they definitely throw the ball to him quite often.
Well, you saw he's got 6 receptions for 43 yards already. Oh. So, now another man down. What? Is it something in the air? Like, should we be concerned? I don't want to get hurt up here in the booth. Tank Williams injured.
I don't know, man.
What's going on here, man?
I don't know what to say.
It sounds like Gerald's injured now too. I don't know what just happened to him. I think he had a stroke.
I'm getting kind of nervous. He's going to reach up here.
Reno out route down to the bottom, well defended by the Dragons. That one tipped away, and yeah, absolutely incomplete. John DeSantis in on the coverage, swatted that one down. That'll bring an end to the drive. 4th down and 3 from the DC 44.
Yeah, so very, very good stop. By DC, look, and they're going to get the ball back, and we're going to see what they're going to be able to do right on this long field, right? It's also going to test Minnesota's defense as well, right? Because should be able to pin them pretty deep in their own territory, and it could be an opportunity for Minnesota and see what DC can do with it, pin this far back.
Ryan Platt punts that one away all the way back to the 10-yard line, returned up to the 12. So 88 yards to go. From the end zone, 5:55 left here in the first half. So far, first half stats, Gerald, pretty even amongst the teams, all passing. And that's basically it.
Yeah, it was kind of expected from the Minnesota side, right? Because they really don't run the ball very well. But on the DC side, it was unexpected with them losing their star running back like that.
Absolutely. Synergy, play action, under pressure, avoids the sack and gets the pass off. That one to Kevin Samuels, and he gets the first down. Wow. Yeah, you don't need your star running back. You just need synergy, some fancy moves, and dump it down to Samuels. Perfect. Just like they drew it up in practice.
That's the downside of having a big defensive lineman not being as agile as a quarterback like Synergy, right? And the forgotten man on that play was Samuels, wide open. He was able to pick up a first down.
Samuels takes the handoff, brought down in the backfield. Defensive line seeking a little bit of revenge there, I think, Gerald. Max Knight wraps him up. Axel Raven in on it as well. 2nd down and 12.
Yeah, and it's a TFL. Now it's a 2nd and long. And look, and DC's going to have to, very likely come out in a passing situation. Looks like they are. And what I like about this, too, I think with the injury they have, it puts, Lauren Prococo out to split out.
Synergy throws over the middle. That one's going to be good for a gain of 7. Right on cue, Gerald. Lauren Prococo with her 4th reception of the day.
Oh, yeah. And she's, and they ran that, play in their previous drive, and she was kind of open, right? I mean, she knows the routes, very well. And, she's getting an opportunity to, run, be out there in a 5 wide receiver set with the injury.
Synergy throws down to the bottom, and that one is complete. But the momentum carried him out of bounds. Josh Gill just shy of the line to gain. 4th down and 1. That might be worth another look. He was right at the stick, but doesn't look like we're going to see a challenge, Gerald. I think they'll just punt this one away.
No, I think whenever he caught it, put his hands on the ball, it looked like he was, right on the line to gain, but his momentum took him backwards, and I don't think they're going to give him any forward progress on that.
The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Think you can draft the best team each week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. Free to play, no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. You can contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood to join today. First down and 10 from their own 30. Johnny Reno back out onto the field, 11 of 15, 101 yards and a touchdown. No turnovers yet in this game. Passes over the middle, and that one is caught all the way up at the 47-yard line. A nice gain of 17. First down.
Yeah, Mr. France is making an appearance from this tight end position there. So, and he was able to get there, was able to beat, the linebacker, get a step on him. Reno threw a good ball.
First and 10 from the 47. Still trailing here at home. Only a one-score game, though. Colin Hart shot out of a cannon that time. Gerald gets a gain of 8 right up the middle. Wasn't contacted for those entire 8 yards.
Yeah, I think watch Declan O'Rourke. I'm not sure what he was looking at, but he just I don't know. Did he think the lineman had the ball? I don't know.
I don't know. He started chasing down the center, Brandon Davenport. I don't know. I think he just got confused.
I mean, look. I know Colin Hart's not a small man, but he's not as big as that offensive lineman.
No, he's a little bit different. 6'5", 315 pounds compared to Colin Hart. Tackled for a loss on that play. Loss of 3. So Tank Williams, the fullback, has some leg cramps. He might return as well. So we're 2 for 3 on injury updates, Gerald, and that's winning territory right there.
Man, did these fellas not hydrate properly last night, or what? Are out partying or something? All this dehydration, getting leg cramps. You need to get some fluids in you.
Reno throws into traffic, and that one is caught, converting another third down. That one going back to Jason France. They've been efficient on third down, Gerald, 3 of 5 so far.
Yeah, look, and Reno dropped it right in that little pocket, right in between, just where France could get it, right out of the reach. It was a perfect touch throw for them to be able to pick that yardage up.
On first down and 10, they go back to France again, and that almost caused the first turnover of the game as France unable to corral the ball, and Josh Vasquez got his hands on it. He was not able to corral the ball either, though. Second down.
Yeah, I don't think France got his head around quick enough, right? I think it was too late, right about time he seen the ball coming in his direction. Reno, probably may have threw a little bit early, but hey, he's seen this guy wide open right there in the middle, and France just didn't see it till it was too late. He got his hands on it, but he just wasn't able to corral it in.
On second down, Reno, pressure coming. He's able to get this one away. Great job by the linebacker. Who's that? Riley Cuse, I believe, got his hands up and was able to swat that one away. He saw the tight end. It was going to Christian Bacigalupi, and Riley Cuse just had to ruin my fun. And but a great job by him. He saw the tight end putting his hands up to catch the ball and swatted it down.
Yeah,
third down and 10.
I think the defense is mad at us because we put the curse on Say.
Almost certainly. That pass over the middle, good for first down yardage, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Hard hits, leg cramps, and unknown injuries is the story today. We'll find out what happens in the next 2 minutes after this. You're watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back. 2 minutes to go here in quarter number one. Excuse me, half number one. It's just flown right by. Reno steps up into the pocket under pressure, throws, and that one is caught by Adam Banks. Gets enough for another first down, back-to-back first downs.
Oh, the footwork by that quarterback made me happy, right? The pocket was collapsing around the backside. He was able to step up and let his wide receiver and Adam Banks, right, find some space and be able to hit him right over the middle. That was a thing of beauty. Love to see it.
And a free play will not be needed as that one goes all the way up to about the 3-yard line. Should be a first down and goal. Jay Taylor getting the catch. We'll see what the penalty is. And it is indeed a neutral zone infraction on John Gary on the Dragon defensive line. That's declined. So first down and goal. Minnesota knocking on the door, looking to get this one tied back up.
Yeah, Jay Taylor was trying to carry 6 men into the end zone there. Didn't quite get there, but and this is interesting, right? We're going to see how they're going to use Colin Hart right here, right on the 2.5-yard line.
Reno will throw, goes up top to Bachagalupi, and he steps out of bounds. No gain on the play. Second down.
Bachagalupi was so excited to get that pass. He saw the end zone and put a toe out of bounds. Darn.
It's unfortunate because that was, so close to being his first career touchdown, and it was not to be. They're still out there, though. There's still hope. Reno under center on second and goal. Gets that up to Colin Hart. Hart with some blocking, spins, end zone, touchdown, Minnesota.
Yeah, when I've seen that formation, I'm like, well, it depends on which way they're going to swing it. They swung it to the short side. Colin Hart had room. He put a spin move right at the end to, secure those 6 points. I don't even think he really needed to hit the spin move, but he did it anyway.
That was just for show, man.
Right. And he spun right into him. I don't know. Maybe he was challenging them defenders, I'm sure.
Second receiving touchdown from Colin Hart tonight. He only had 3 receiving touchdowns on the entire season. So great to see that from him. And that's what's got the points on the board for Minnesota tonight. 9 all-purpose touchdowns for Colin Hart this season. An 11-play, 67-yard drive. All tied back up at 14 apiece. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down the first half between the Dragons and the Legend. Check in on the playoff standings. Highlight Friday games from around the SFL, including the Louisiana Revolution versus the Mexico City Aztecs.
Shame on you.
They'll go over the latest league polls and update you on action going on in California between London and Los Angeles. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. We've got a game update from Los Angeles. We'll go back to the SFL studios. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. Mike St. Green, Los Angeles' defense steps up.
Yeah, this LA defense stepping up and possibly maybe a little playoff clinching hangover from London. Tazzy Blackwell falls on a fumble from Robert Merrill. LA and London tied at 0.
Back to Mike and Gerald.
Thank you, Cam. The last undefeated team, London Knights, looking to stay undefeated. Los Angeles going to put up a fight, though, I think. Gerald, second down and 3 for DC.
Yeah, winning these games in the SFL are never easy, regardless of your opponent's record, right? There's good coaches across this league, great players across this league as well. So there's no cakewalk.
44 seconds to go, all 3 timeouts. Ball is caught up top, stepping out of bounds, stopping the clock. First down and 10 from their own 43. And it's got to be weighing in the back of the minds of the Dragons that Minnesota is going to get the ball to start the second half. So looking to get some points on the board here. They don't want Minnesota to get out in front.
Mr. Kevin Say is back. I don't know if you saw that 20.
Oh, there he is. So there's your update, folks. Kevin Say has returned. He takes that handoff, and he looks like he's been well arrested. Past the 30, he's going to go into the end zone right now. Welcome back, Kevin Say. Touchdown, Dragons.
Man, and look, and this was his first play of the drive. We ain't seen him since early first quarter, and this man shows up and makes this could be a game-changing play. First touch since coming back in the game, the first time we seen him on the field. Oh man, he got a great block, and and he just took off. He's gone.
I don't know, Gerald. I think it was strategy. I think that they said, you know what, we're just going to let Kevin Samuels carry the load in the first half, and then right before halftime, a very, very fresh, well-hydrated Kevin Say will come out cramp-free and run it into the end zone for 6. It's exactly what they designed, I think.
It was because the way that they came out on offense and it happened, the way they started throwing, it makes you think that Kevin Say was just not available, and he just comes right in there. They get a couple of good positive plays in the passing game, and then Kevin Say shows up, and I see him, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, I see you too. I'm coming." Jeez.
Man, he looked fast. He looked fast on that one. He was absolutely flying. Extra point is up and
great.
Good from Potty, and now he's got the ball teed up, ready to kick it back off to Minnesota. So, whole new ball game now, Gerald. We've seen a lot of throwing from Synergy. He's been doing good, 19 of 21, 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's nothing to be upset about. Those are great numbers. And now you add a fresh Kevin Say back into the mix. He only had 2 carries the entire ball game, and of course, one of them's a 57-yard touchdown. He's going to get a halftime break. He'll be fresh for the second half. Things looking up for the Dragons as they also have the 7-point lead, 21-14. And what's been an exciting ball game so far. Johnny Reno back out onto the field, 19 of 25, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's had a great clean game as well. Only 26 seconds to go until the half, though. They do have all 3 timeouts. Reno gets it down to Colin Hart. Hart spins, tackled at the 30, and it looks like they will be content to go into the half, and they'll get the ball back to start quarter number 3.
I would have liked them to be a little bit more aggressive there, right? And
I agree. Would have been nice to at least see if you can power your way down into field goal range, but Hart's able to get that. See, and look, they probably could have done it too. They're already up at the 40, but not to be. So,
I mean, and you look, and the thing, I mean, you got 3 timeouts too. I mean, you had 30 seconds. I mean, you had two really good plays on that stuff there. I mean, shoot, man, it's you don't get to carry those timeouts over into the second half. I mean, use them and try to get yourself in some sort of field goal range because Party is a very good kicker.
21 for the Dragons, 14 for the Legend. 2 quarters in the books, 2 remains. We'll be back with the APM Music SFL Halftime Report with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and it is halftime, and the DC Dragons lead the Minnesota Legend 21-14. That's about as entertaining of a first half as we can ask for, Mike. We're definitely going to hit the over, and Kevin Say's emergence has DC up a touchdown.
Yeah, that's surprising that we're going to possibly hit the over in this game. I expected a much more low-scoring game, but these are two quality teams and actually two pretty efficient and quality offenses that both of these teams put out on the field. Kevin Say was injured for majority of the first half for the DC Dragons, but Sebas Synergy, he's been great all season long. He's been very efficient, at the quarterback position, third in the league in passing completion percentage with, over completing 75% of his passes. So it's no surprise we've seen this before. And a game that Say was injured in, DC, they seem to be just fine, and they seem to be operating very efficiently tonight.
19 of 21 for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks for Synergy in the first half, and that has DC up 21-14. Pretty good first half out of Minnesota as well. They're doing a lot of what we saw last week, getting Colin Hart involved in the passing game and spreading the ball around pretty good too. Adam Banks with 5 catches, but Buchanan Simons quietly, Mike, very quiet, 1 catch, 13 yards. DC's been doing a pretty good job. Kevin Say, who's on our graphic here today, had a great game last week, holding it down with the rest of that secondary.
Yeah, haven't heard much from Buchanan Simons. We haven't heard much from Jay Taylor. It's pretty much been Colin Hart. There's been most of the offense for the Legend, but these guys, they can if they can make a few plays defensively. I know they hated to see Kevin Say come back. We like to see him for our entertainment purposes. He's third in the league in rushing, third in yards per carry. As you saw, he could be very explosive. So Minnesota didn't like seeing him. I was glad to see him back. But these guys are going to have to make a couple of plays on defense, slow these guys down, and hopefully make enough plays on offense to get back in it.
Kevin Say's 4th straight 1,000-yard season since he was drafted by the DC Dragons. All right, that's what's going on in Minnesota right now on Next Level Sports. But now to the best of Friday night in the SFL. Mexico City and Louisiana gets us started. Louisiana's up 10-0, and the Aztecs approach this game differently, Mike St. Green, as Phoenix Jones gets a long run off left tackle. That went for 32. Next play, line shifts for Louisiana, and the handoff to Ray Bentley, and he's got a touchdown. Mexico City's on the boards and cuts into the deficit 10-7.
Yeah, talk about injuries. Ray Bentley was coming off of an injury last week that he really didn't perform well, and he's getting back, to his old self right there with a big touchdown run.
A toss. Ray Bentley, another big gain. He ended up being the player of the game in this one. Pick it up 13-10, middle of the third quarter. Matt Wilson can still pass. That's a touchdown to Jason Bartley. Mexico City takes the lead.
Yeah, that was a great play right there. Bartley, likes a little slant route, and Matt Wilson finds him for the touchdown.
Louisiana wasn't done mid-fourth quarter. They get a touchdown there, make it 24-20. Aztecs up just 4. Now, 4th and goal at the 8. This pass is caught by John Michael Sutter. He fumbles the ball on 4th and goal. Liam Ryan forces the fumble. This was with 1:25 to go, but the defense would end up getting another stop and another chance.
Yeah, this was a great opportunity here for Louisiana, and they just fell short right here with the fumble. But I have a feeling this may not be their last opportunity.
Defense gets a stop. Now 1 second to go. They're on the 1-yard line. Mike, what are you going to do? 3 off the left side. Watch Randy Squarebush in the backfield. 1 second. He's wide open. Tommy Utah throws into double coverage, and Mexico City clings to a 24-20 victory. Canton in Vancouver to take on the Legion, and Justice Blackwell balling for the Legion recently, Mike. Christian Brown finds him, and Vancouver goes up 14-3.
Yeah, Justice Blackwell had a huge game yesterday, and Christian Brown is kind of rounding into that quarterback position over there for Vancouver. The free agent pickup, he's been looking pretty good over the past few weeks.
These two teams recently going in opposite directions, but not in this game. Cameron Curtis looking for the former Vancouver Legion, Kendra Hall. He's picked off there by Mark Lopez. Canton had won 4 games in a row before their loss last week, and Vancouver's been on a slide, but it was all Legion on this night. Fourth quarter, Robert Redford, not a ton of offense in this one, but Robert Redford was the lone bright spot on either team, Mike.
Yeah, Robert Redford doing the things that we're accustomed to seeing him do. A big run right there, set up Vancouver for this another touch and another touchdown run for Robert Redford.
24-6, they would tack on a safety and this interception. Bad night for Robert Johnson. Vancouver beats Canton 26-6 to improve to 6-4. Battle of the Birds, Carolina and Sioux Falls, a combined 8 sacks in this game. We pick it up in the fourth quarter, 9-0 with 4:23 to go, and that is Matt South to Tony Zoma.
Tony Zoma with a nice season this season, moving over from fullback to the outside position, and with a nice touchdown there catch from Matt South.
So now Carolina down 9-7. Their defense gets a stop, but Darius Hawkins gets a safety for the Sparrows, makes it 11-7. Sioux Falls off the free kick would add another field goal, make it 14-7. And the last gasp chance for Carolina picked off by Jay Ringgold. Mike, Sioux Falls scores 14 points in this one with no touchdowns. Bizarre game.
And this is typical type of Sioux Falls things that we've seen from them in the past. We've seen them win quirky games like this, and their defense is more than capable of keeping them in them. And you saw them keep them in the game last night.
Arizona and Jacksonville, what a wild one here. Look at this run from Jared Willis, down 20-3 with 4:40 to go in the third, and there is no better showboat than this out of Jared Willis. I mean, he is just giving it to Everett Garrison, then turns around and talks some smack. He must have known something that we did not, because that got the Jacksonville crowd going, and it got the Jacksonville Kings going, the 1-8 Kings who have struggled this season. Fourth quarter, Arizona's down 23, or Arizona's up 23-10. That pass is picked off by Bernard Gooden.
Yeah, Jared Willis, let's get back to him. Showboat next time when you're probably up a couple of scores as opposed to being down by 20. But like you said, maybe he knew something that we didn't.
Deep ball to Kingston Ellington, and all of a sudden, the Jacksonville Kings are turning up the juice. 6:25 to go in the quarter. Jordan Sipe down the middle. That pass hauled in by Caesar Ackerman. They love the tight ends in this new Kings offense. 4th and 1 at the 6. Jacksonville, this is the ball game right here. If they don't convert this game is surely over. And Sipe throws a touchdown. That's Ackerman again, and it's 23-17. Arizona's next possession. Another look at the excited crowd. Jackson, 5 wide. Just a minute later, and she's picked again, Mike. What is going on with Jackson? No picks in 2 consecutive wins and 6 interceptions in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, her efficiency, it goes along with Arizona's success, and she's really been struggling over the past couple of weeks, and this is a huge reason why Jacksonville were able to get back into this game.
Pass pick by Stuart Zomilia. So 2:52 to go in the fourth quarter. The 1-8 Kings up against the 6-3 Scorpions, and it's a jump ball, and it's won by Grayson Willis. Everett Garrison getting owned again there. 3rd down and 2 under 2 minutes to play. Sipe, cool, calm, and collected rookie, finds Grayson Willis again. 1st down to the 13-yard line. Quickly now, 1:05 to go. 1st and goal at the 1. This time, a team in the East Division punches it in from 1 yard out. Jared Willis with the touchdown, and Jacksonville takes the lead 24-23. Unreal.
Yeah, the Kings are a whole lot better team when Grayson Willis is doing the things that Jared Willis is doing the things that he was able to do in this game. And we saw it last night with the great comeback and a big play right there to close it out for the Kings.
Yeah, did you see that 4th down? Not ideal. That was ugly from Jackson to Hayden, and the Arizona Scorpions surprisingly fall to the Jacksonville Kings in a major upset after they trailed 20-3 in that ball game. So your updated playoff picture is as follows. As you could see now, Fort Worth still in the lead on Mexico City thanks to their win here on Next Level Sports last weekend. But Houston has Vegas tomorrow, and if they win that game, it's a 3-way tie, and I believe, Mike, Houston's got the sweep on those 2 teams, and the Houston Headhunters would be your new South Division leader.
Yeah, a huge game for the Headhunters tomorrow for us playoff positioning. They could take over, first place in the South with, by head-to-head wins over Mexico City and Fort Worth. And from the way the standings look right now, they would get that very, very important bye week in the playoffs.
With all of the shuffling, Arizona falls to 7. Sioux falls in 8. Now Lone Star and Minnesota flipping back and forth with all these strength of victories they've been going through. And Minnesota, as of coming into this game, in 12th place. Lone Star slides up into 11th. And still all 4 South teams are involved in the postseason picture. Here's your new outside looking in. And thanks to 3 different 4 and 5 teams losing yesterday, Mike, it's now Queen City and Portland making their first entrance into our playoff graphics this season. They play each other tonight, next at 9:05 Eastern on SFL YouTube, and the winner is going to go to 5-5 and put themselves in pretty good shape to make this postseason. Vegas and Tulsa still grappling with the reality that they are above 500 and outside looking in right now.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Portland Queen City game. The playoff implications are one thing. O.J. Bruin, going up against the team that drafted him. Is that in Portland? Yeah, he's going back to Portland to play his old team, I think, unless I'm mistaken if he's at home. But he has his old team that drafted him, spent 2 seasons there, and I'm pretty sure he's looking forward to going up against them and possibly, setting himself up nicely in the playoff run.
Queen City is at home, and they're a quirky team, aren't they? It's just every time you think they're not going to be able to stand up, it's something about the defense. It's something about O.J. Bruin, and if you're not careful, they can sneak up on you. And for Portland, Mike, I mean, this team has never made the playoffs, and they have been playing so well over the last month. You just have a feeling that they're going to need some help. Right? Things got to fall their way. Somebody in this top 12 or that outside looking in has got to go on a free fall to give them an opportunity to sneak in. But Portland's a frisky team too.
Yeah, and one thing we know about Portland, that they can score. They have Kevin Love over there. He can break out at any time. It's very similar to what we saw with Kevin Say in that first half. So I'm sorry, Ezekiel Love. I don't know why I called him Kevin. I'm had Kevin Say on the brain.
He's on all of our minds after that first half.
Yeah. Ezekiel Love, he can break out at any time like Kevin Say can, and that offense is very explosive. We've seen Gene Valentine have a breakout season over there. So. The rookie quarterback is playing well, and the defense is kind of, righted things over there to kind of solidified and helped out that great offense. So if any time that these guys can maybe step up and have a big win, tonight is the night, and they can maybe take a step towards finally breaking that playoff barrier.
LA's playing some good football right now, Mike. It's 4 minutes to go in the first half, and that game is tied at 7. What have you seen? What have you seen out of the Los Angeles defense so far in this ball game?
They've done a good job, Cam. We saw them come out in the first from opening kickoff, forced an early 3 and out. London forced a 3 out on them as well. Got the ball back. LA forced a fumble. And they've been playing pretty solid. Gary Marks, he has a sack. We mentioned that in the pregame that that defensive line was going to have to put pressure on Johnny Pickler and make him uncomfortable in the pocket. One of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league, and they're doing just what they need to do to stay in this game with London.
And Pickler's played well, 14 for 17, no interceptions, but Robert Merrill, 25 yards on 10 carries. LA's done a really nice job on him, and the Lycans are hanging around. We'll have updates of that game for you all second half long. But for now, we'll take a break. 21-14, the DC Dragons lead the Minnesota Legend at the half, and Minnesota gets the ball to start the second half. What fireworks will we see in the second half? Will Kevin Say still be healthy? And will Minnesota be able to stop him? We'll find out after this break. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report, and Mike and I will be back here to wrap things up in postgame. Dags and Smith, have your second half call when we come back.
Welcome back, everybody, to Northwood Stadium in St. Paul, Minnesota. We got a 21-14 exciting ball game here. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. With us on stats tonight, we've got Dakota Butts, and Mel Davis. Kick return brought up to the 26-yard line by Adam Banks. And Minnesota back out onto the field on offense to get the second half started. Johnny Reno back out on the field, 21 of 27, 2 touchdowns, 174 yards passing. Darn near 78% completion percentage. Gerald, triple-digit quarterback rating. You couldn't ask for much more out of your quarterback in the first half.
Oh no, he did great, man. But I'm interested to see how they're going to come out.
Reno's just going to throw that one away. So that's how they come out.
I think they're a little shell shocked from Say just showing up out of nowhere and running it 57 yards for a touchdown. You know what I really thought on that play? I thought he really was going to run to Colin Hart and hand him the ball. That would have been quite amazing. I'm going to run to you and just hand it to you. Go, man, go.
Talk about the long handoff. That would have been the longest handoff of all time. I'm just going to run 15 yards across the field to give this to you. He's going to throw into traffic this time, tipped and incomplete. His own receiver was almost able to catch it off the deflection. It looked like Jay Taylor was there with his hands on it. Quig Mam, the intended target, 3rd down and 10, and Minnesota at risk of going a quick 3-and-out to get the second half started.
Yeah, I think I still think they had that run, when they thought everything was going their way, and that run that DC had before half is still in the back of the mind.
5 of 7 on 3rd downs in the first half, and on the first 3rd down of half number 2, they're not able to get it. They gained 9.9 on that play, 4th and inches, and backed up to their own 36-yard line. I'm not sure that that's something they would want to try to go for.
Yeah, he was so close, right? I think if that other defender doesn't come there and help with the tackle, I think Adam Banks, could have just fell backwards and got over the first down marker. But that's a good defensive play to be able to, come in there. One guy have him, and the other guy kind of come there and kind of clean it up to keep from converting that 3rd down.
Thought they might took a look at the spot, but it was not to be. Fair catch at the 29-yard line. We've got an update from the London-Los Angeles game. Back to Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Mike Daggs. Mike St. Green, it's tight end time.
Yeah, Johnny Pickler finds Benji Matson in the corner of the end zone. London goes up 14-7, under 2 minutes left in the second.
Back to Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith. Daggs will appreciate that touchdown.
Hashtag throw it to the tight end. That's what gets it done. I love it. Kevin Say on his first carry of the second half was able to gain 4 yards. So only the 3rd carry of the ball game for him, Gerald. He's still very, very fresh.
Oh yeah, he's still got those good legs under him. He probably had some fluid issues early on, right? Probably had the cramps like all the other players happened in this game, and it took him a little while to get his feet under him, but he was quite fast.
Sebastian Energy with a great game so far. You just saw his stats, 181 yards. He's at 90% completion percentage. Gerald also triple-digit quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So looks like they're trying to lean a little bit more on Say now. The last 3 offensive plays for the Dragons have been runs. It looks like now they might need to go back to Synergy on 3rd down and 5. 3 wide receivers set. Synergy will throw. Short pass over the middle, and that one is complete, but not good enough for a first down. Josh Gill with the catch, 4th down and 2. So both teams go 3-and-out to get the second half started. We saw a lot of fireworks in the first half, Gerald, and a little bit slow start here in half number 2.
Yeah, and given the over under here, this is these last 2 drives was pretty much what the lines makers thought it was going to be more of a defensive struggle between both teams. But and who knows, maybe it might turn out in the second half, but the way they were both efficient on offense the first half, I think they just need to get back to doing that. I think we can have just as an exciting second half as we did the first.
Johnny Reno back out on the field on offense. 3 receiver set, 2 backs in the backfield. Reno, wide open down the right sideline. Has his man down to the 42. He took advantage of that one real quick. Gerald J. Taylor down the sideline for a first down.
Oh, yeah, he seen him open quick and gave it to him. And look, I wish J. Taylor wouldn't have. He misplayed the ball a little bit. If you would have caught that in stride, I think it's 6, and I think we're looking at an extra point to tie the ball game up. So that was definitely a missed opportunity by Minnesota there. But let's see if they can keep that going.
That's the first down of the second half, so at least we've got that going for us. Colin Hart takes his handoff and runs forward for a gain of 7. Hart had a slow first half in the running game. He had 5 rushing attempts for 13 yards, so that gain of 7 brings him up to 20. But 10 receptions for 57 yards and both of Minnesota's touchdowns through the receiving game. So slow in the rushing game, but good receptions out of him, mainly out of the swing route. And this time they're going to go down to Christian Bachagalupi, getting his first catch of the ball game. That actually gained yards. His second catch, his first didn't go for anything. That one goes for a first down.
Yeah, and the name challenge winner gets himself some positive yards and picks up the first down. So it's great play all around there.
Absolutely. Colin Hart takes another handoff, trying to break a few tackles, but is only able to gain 3 on the play. Second down and 7.
It was a great tackle there, because if Colin Hart breaks that tackle, I think he very well has a very good opportunity of getting 6 there. So he was able to secure that tackle, and I thought he was going to break it, but he just didn't.
Reno throws into traffic, and that one's incomplete. Third down and 7 coming up, and yeah, you more than most in the league know what Colin Hart looks like when he can break some tackles and get on open field. Coming over from your Louisiana Revolution in free agency to join the Minnesota Legend this season, he's done a lot of great things in the league.
Yeah, and when Colin Hart is on, he's on, right? He's one of the best back in the league, and I still think he is one of the best backs in the league, right? So, his history has proved what he can do.
Reno throws for the first down up to the 15-yard line, connecting with Adam Banks. Yeah, Colin Hart, the 3-time All-Star running back. He's got over 2,200 carries in the league all time. That's 6th best in the league. Over 12,000 yards. That's 4th best in the league. Over 120 touchdowns. 3rd best in the league all time. One of the absolute legends in the running game here in the SFL. That pass connected to Jason France. Good for gain of 8. And Colin Hart, he's approaching the 100 all-purpose yard mark. Currently sitting at 80 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day.
No, and that's the way Hey, Minnesota's using him, right? I mean, we used him in the same typical way in Louisiana last season, right? And he was able to be productive, and that's how he's been his entire career.
Reno to Hart. Hart, first down and more. Touchdown, Minnesota. We're an extra point away from tying this one back up.
And there we go, right? So an extra point away, right? And look, we talked about Colin Hart, being productive in the way that Minnesota used him, and they've been using him a ton out of the backfield throughout this season. And during this game, right? He's completing over his average. He's getting about 6 yards of reception this game, which is almost doubling what he averages on the season so far. So, look, Minnesota's seeing something throwing the ball out of the backfield to him, and it's being very, very productive this game.
Hart had 12 receptions, 59 yards, and 2 touchdowns through the air last week. 14 rushes for 50 yards on the ground. So far, doesn't have quite those rushing totals, but 65 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Extra point ties this one up. Exciting conclusion still ahead. We're midway through the third quarter. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back after this. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info on the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. We've got a tie ball game, Gerald, midway through the third quarter.
Man, Minnesota is keeping the pressure on DC here, which is something a lot of people can't say they've done this season.
Synergy, quick dump down to Kevin Say. That one is good for a gain of 8. We've got an update from Los Angeles. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike Daggs. London still scoring, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, there's not an American werewolf loose in London, but Brandon Union takes his touchdown all the way back. Pick 6, London up 21-7.
More like loose in LA, as London has now a 14-point advantage. Kevin Say putting in some more work. Back to Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith.
Thank you, Cam. Kevin Say indeed putting in more work, getting that first down. And London, undefeated for a reason, Gerald, as they look pretty dominant once again.
Yeah, they like I called them, right? I called them scary good because they are legit. They can play both offense and defense.
Synergy over the middle to Percoco. She gets the first down up to the 48-yard line. Percoco been pretty involved in this game, Gerald. That's her 6th reception, now approaching the 50-yard mark.
Right, and she continues to find the space on that same route out of that same formation, and Reno is hitting her right there. So, there's a sweet spot right there. Hey, they need some yardage right there. Look, they got 8 to 10 right there, and it's an efficient way to move the ball.
Synergy once again going over the middle to Percoco. Efficient indeed. Good for another 8. That puts her over the 50-yard mark. She's the leading receiver so far for the DC Dragons.
Yeah, and they're going to do it. Look, and they're actually putting the pressure back on Minnesota here, right? With them driving now, they're in Minnesota territory. So, hey, Minnesota's putting the pressure on them by answering the calls, and DC said, hey, we can put the pressure back on you as well.
Only 2 incompletions on the day for Synergy, and now you have a fresh Kevin Say, who's able to put chunk yardage up like that. First down and 10 from the Minnesota 34.
Yeah, after their first drive of this half, for DC was a 3 and out. They're coming out and looking just as efficient as they looked all season right here. So this is the type of offense I expected to see, from DC, right? Getting those runs with Say and getting those nice routes to the receivers and everything else to pick up some yardage and just be as efficient as they can. And they play clean ball. They just don't turn the ball over.
Synergy to Kevin Say.
Oh!
Good for a gain of 9. Nice move by Say to get up to the 25-yard line. And Gerald, look at that quarterback comparison. I mean, it's been a clean game all around on both sides.
Look, and that's why both these teams are in the position they are as far as looking at playoff spots, right? And have the ahead of amongst the other teams that are vying for spots, man. And hey, you play this efficient and don't turn the ball over, you're gonna win games and keep yourself in games as well.
Say hitting the backfield, able to break through 2 tackles to get all the way down to the 9-yard line. First down and goal. What a run from Kevin Say.
Man, I want to see that run again. I want to see who missed that tackle in the backfield there. Oh, defensive lineman. Huh. Oh man, that's Mark Mello. He just rolled off a Say there.
And that's not something that you would see very often. A guy as big as Mark Mello, 6'6", 295 pounds. He's got 95 pounds and 6 inches on Kevin Say, and Say's still able to just burst right through. Synergy, out route, tipped in, incomplete. Great play there by Tyga Clay. Second down.
Yeah, look, I thought the route was open until Clay closed on that. Because initially, right when he threw it, I thought he had something there, but he just didn't. Look, and he could have just maybe put a little bit of air under it to to be able to get it to him. But it looked like he was wide open for at least about 5 yards to get him inside the 5 for sure.
Second down and goal from the 8. Synergy hands it off to Say. Say hit in the backfield, and this time brought down. Max Knight says, hey, Mark, this is how you do it.
Yep. And Max Knight is a very large man. 6'5", 350 pounds. He wasn't getting through them 350-pound arms on that one.
No, that's like running into a wall. Third down and goal. Synergy steps up, pressure coming, and he gets the ball away, but Lauren Percoco made that catch and does not get very far. Yeah, she does indeed get the catch. Fourth down and goal from the 7 after a gain of only 1. And the drive was doing really good, Gerald. Big chunk plays, and then just got down inside the 10 and stalled.
Yeah, look, and I got to give it to the linebacker that was covering Lauren Percoco on that play. Like they stuffed her at the line and didn't allow her to get any deep to make her crossing route to be able to find room for a touchdown, because she, and they saw when it came out in the formation. They're like, hey, look, we got to get her. We got to keep her from getting down the field because she's leaking over the middle and catching passes for 8 to 10 yards, which would have got them a touchdown. Instead, they bumped her right off the line, and she couldn't go more than 2 or 3 yards. But the quarterback still found her. But they held her to only a few yard gain.
Yeah, absolutely. Forced the field goal, which was up and good from Paty, and kicks this one away. DC now with a 3-point lead over the Legend. Adam Banks returning this one up to the 25-yard line. The SFL Minor League is about to begin. Games kick off Friday, October 14th on SFL YouTube, and it's not too late to create your player and get him or her involved in the next rookie class. Season 20's rookie draft takes place on December 17th and 18th, so don't miss your chance. The sooner you create the player, the better your player will be on draft day. For more information, visit simulationfl.net. Reno in the gun on first down. Now trailing the Dragons once again. Throws on the run, and it's caught. Connecting with Jason France, the tight end. First down at the 44-yard line. Gain of 19.
And that was the only option he had. If you look at it on you look at it on the second monitor here, those wide receivers got killed on the line there. But France was able to, get free of this linebacker that was covering him, and Reno was able to buy himself just enough time with a slight rollout and get the ball to him when he saw France got a little bit of space.
3 receivers set. On first down as the final seconds tick away here in quarter number 3. That pass into coverage is somehow hauled into DC territory. Great job finding Adam Banks. First down, the DC 45. 3 quarters in the books. 1 remains here in Minnesota. 24-21, DC out in front. You are watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. We will be back to start quarter number 4 after the break. Welcome back to Northwood Stadium, St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Mike Daggs along with Gerald Smith, Dakota Butts, and Mel Davis with us on Stats. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green back in SFL studios. Hosting today's production for us, a gain of 8 to Buchanan Simons, brings up a 2nd down and 2. So not a lot of scoring in the third quarter compared to the first half, Gerald, but Minnesota on the move.
Yeah, they're in DC territory, and that's actually that's only the 2nd target and 2nd catch by Buchanan Simons this game. They've been holding them in check pretty well.
Indeed, they have. Reno down to the bottom. That one good for another 1st down. Somebody that hasn't been held in check quite as well, Jason France with his 4th catch of the ball game. Buchanan Simons last week, 8 receptions for 65 yards. He was 1 yard less than Jason France, but one of the leading receivers last week and not getting a lot going for them this week. They might need him more later on. Great move by Colin to get the 1st down. I would have been happy with him just getting back to the line of scrimmage on that one, Gerald, and instead he takes it for a gain of 10.
See, and that's that veteran ball carrier vision he has there. He saw that the defensive line were pushing back his offensive line, right? So he knew he had to bounce it out, you can't teach that, right? That's just a veteran presence of him running the ball, being able to find a lane and be able to pick up the 1st down.
Just on the outside of the red zone, 1st down and 10 from the 20. Reno, pressure coming, dumps it down to Colin Hart, and well defended by Declan O'Rourke. Didn't get lost on that play, Gerald. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. Tackle for a loss, -3.
Yeah, he was. Credit, again, to the defenders on that in coverage because they locked up everybody that was out there for a pass catch. Reno had nowhere to go with the ball, so he just decided to dump it off to Colin Hart to see if he could make a play, and DC's defense was all over it.
3 tackles, 4 assists for O'Rourke. That pass, good for a nice gain. Gets up to the 11-yard line. Gain of 12 on the play, sets up a 3rd down and 2. From 2nd down and 13 to 3rd and 2, Gerald. Great play.
Oh, yeah, and it looked like Buchanan Simons said, go gadget arms, because he reached out and make it look like his arms were twice as long to make that catch.
Whatever it takes. 3rd down and 2. Oh, wide open. Jason France.
Oh.
France down to the 4. 1st down and goal. Johnny Reno. Look at those stats. 316 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's looking to make that 4 touchdowns and 320 yards here potentially on this next play.
Oh, man, that's it. And he's crazy efficient with 118 QBR. Man, he's finding the open guys, and he's in quite the rhythm. And here to go with the Colin Hart swing route, I think.
It is a Colin Hart swing route. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Tackled after a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, but he got half of what they needed, and they still have 2 more plays to be able to punch it in from here. And I like their chances.
Two backs in the backfield. Reno under center. Reno to throw up top. Christian Bachagalupi, touchdown, Minnesota.
I seen it when that play lined up. I said, I think they're going to hit Bachagalupi on a little bit of a slip route out in the flats. And he was able to get it and sneak his feet inside the pylon for that touchdown.
Congratulations to Mr. Christian Bachagalupi getting his first career touchdown, and what a time to do it. Puts the legend back out in front over the DC Dragons. 8 minutes to go in the ball game. His yardage total is not going to set any records here today, Gerald, but he got a touchdown. I'm sure that ball is going to be kept for a long time.
Yep, and I think it's a touchdown pass to the tight end. And then you got to say Bachagalupi on a touchdown call.
What a beautiful thing. 28-24, legend out in front. Gerald, it looks like the scoring is coming back. We'll see what happens here as the fourth quarter unfolds. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. And welcome back. 8 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the ball game. Minnesota with a 4-point lead. DC will get the ball back at their own 29-yard line. Gerald, Christian Bachagalupi got so excited about his first touchdown reception that he chucked the ball into the crowd.
I think that might be a mistake by Mr. Bachagalupi. He's probably going to now have to pay a hefty price to get that ball back.
I would assume so, and I would strongly recommend he do. That's a historic football right there. Sebastian Synergy back out onto the field. 25 of 29. Pass attempt number 30 is complete. That one will go out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Second down and inches, connected with Gus Scott.
Yeah, and
Ronnie Shanahan with another reception.
This is going to be a very interesting drive too for DC here, because Minnesota got that touchdown there, and now they have a 4-point lead. A field goal, right? If depending on how long the drive takes, right? A field goal doesn't tie it or nothing. So, so it's going to be very interesting on how they handle this particular situation here, because Minnesota definitely put the pressure back on DC to answer with something.
Ball is handed off to Kevin Say. Say able to spin up to the 43-yard line, gets the first down. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. First down and 10. Synergy up the top and just past the line to gain. First down at the Minnesota 47-yard line. Mike Churchill with the catch.
That pump fake by Synergy, I'm not sure if you caught that, but it caused Rick Evans to make a move in a direction where Synergy pump faked that and got that receiver on that end a little bit more space to get open, a bit to get on the sideline and better catch the ball, move chains.
Good to see Mike Churchill back out there too. He gets his second catch of the ball game. Left the game with cramps earlier on in our injury-laden first half. So having him back and Kevin Say back couldn't be better for the Dragons as they trail by 4 inside 7 minutes to go in the ball game.
Yeah, it seemed like they packed enough little IV bags to get some fluids in these boys to be able to get them back on the field.
For receiver set on second down. Synergy down the left sideline. He's got his lady. It's Lauren Percoco. Touchdown Dragons.
Look, and she has been, right, the most targeted receiver on this team, their leading receiver in yards, and now how can you forget her? She's been the most active pass catcher on this team this game. And then somehow there wasn't anybody within like 7 to 10 yards of her. And how do you let her get that wide open and make that huge play? And again, the momentum could possibly have changed, and now it's back in Minnesota's hands to be able to see if they can handle the pressure that's being put on them by DC.
Daniel Wright in on the coverage. Percoco now with 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown, including that 42-yarder right there. That puts DC back out in front. Extra point is up, and it is good. 31-28, DC out in front. Tomorrow, Next Level Sports coverage of the Simulation Football League continues at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Florida tries to keep its slim lead in the East Division at rival Denver, plus live look-ins on the high-flying San Diego Mavericks in desperation mode visiting the Lone Star Glory. For a channel guide and more information about NXT, you can visit NLSE.com. Find out where you can watch Next Level Sports. Kick taken by Adam Banks, returned right up to the 21-yard line. We've got an update from Los Angeles. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
News flash, Mike St. Green. London is good.
Yeah, London's very good. Robert Merrill is good as well. He's kind of struggled all day long, but he spin move there, gets into the end zone for his league-leading 19th rushing touchdown and put London clearly ahead, 31-10.
Knights on their way to 10-0 in the point differential SFL record. Back to my Dags and Gerald Smith.
Thank you, Cam. London is good indeed. You know who else is good? Johnny Reno. He's having one heck of a ball game. Buchanan Simons getting another catch. Reno 35 of 44, 282 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Doing pretty good, Gerald, and they're going to need him on this drive.
Right, it seems like Buchanan Simons is showing up right at the right time, right when it comes down to the crunch time where they're going to need, their bigger stars to make big plays. And, it's a good time for Buchanan Simons to be able to show up because, it seems like they may need him toward the end. Here we are, under 6 minutes.
Reno swings this one out to Hart. Hart, look at that. It didn't even get touched for the first 10 yards. Stiff armed the defender into the turf and goes all the way up to midfield.
I'm not even sure if you heard me. I'm like, look at the blockers. Watching the convoy of people you had out there. Some of them threw a couple of no-hitters right here because you can see they didn't hit nobody and the guys kind of leak in, but it didn't stop him from gaining the yards that he had.
You see Peanut say coming over to make the tackle, and Colin Hart just absolutely stiff arms Say down into the turf.
Poor guy, man. And Colin Hart, he's a tough guy.
Tough guy indeed. Reno in the gun on first down. Out route down to the bottom. That one is complete. Good yardage after the catch for Jay Taylor. Turned on the afterburners, got all the way up to the 22-yard line. A gain of 26 on the play.
I don't think the defender even realized, oh, hey, this guy's got some speed because he thought he took the right angle and he just missed him.
Jay Taylor, the leading receiver on the day for Minnesota. 5 receptions for 83 yards. As we hit the 5-minute mark. First down and 10. Just outside the red zone, Colin Hart met at the line and brought down. Jose Fuentes says, nope. No more running for you. Only 31 yards on the day rushing for Hart compared to the 91 yards that Kevin Say has. But the difference, Gerald, is those receiving yards. Not only receiving yards, but touchdowns. 83 receiving yards for Hart, 3 receiving touchdowns. He's just pouring it on for the legend. Hands it back off to Hart again. Hit behind the line and then brought down behind the line. Tackled for a loss by John DeSantis and Riley Cuse. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and this is where you're gonna have to, it's Buchanan Simons, right, has shown himself in this fourth quarter, and I look for Reno to look toward, their leading wide receiver on the season right here.
Also got Jay Taylor down on the bottom. They go towards Taylor, and he gets the first down.
Oh my God!
And he's down permanently. Jay Taylor.
You see how he's breathing?
Yeah, looks like some labored breathing there. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him. As the injury fest continues, Josh Vasquez with the hit, and the leading receiver for the Legend, 95 yards, Jay Taylor, and now he's questionable to return as we're inside 4 minutes to go. So might have to lean back on Colin Hart. He's had a productive game. They're going to hand it off to him here. Hit behind the line, tackled for a loss, brought down in the backfield by Declan O'Rourke. He's got a couple tackles for a loss. O'Rourke has had a great game, Gerald. 2nd down and 14.
Yeah, and that was good penetration right there, right? The defensive line is doing an excellent job of getting pushing back the offensive lineman, right? And it's having to, causing Colin Hart to kind of change the way he runs, and when you do that, it gives the linebackers every opportunity to pursue.
Reno fires over the middle.
Oh.
That one is caught by Jason Franz. He got back a little over half of what he needed, a gain of 10 on the play. 3rd down and 4 from the DC 4. Gerald, I think that they can get a first down without even scoring.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so. No.
There's
no,
room.
no,
It'll
no,
be a 1st and
no,
goal from the goal line. You love those.
No, man, that's not the thing.
See what they can do here on 3rd down. Reno fires towards the end zone, and it's batted away. Nathaniel Diggs in on the coverage, trying to hit Adam Banks, and it's 4th down. Minnesota's going to have to settle for a Mickey Melillo field goal to tie this one up.
I would have liked to seen Colin Hart come out right in one of the formation where they swing it to him, because that's where he's been money with all of its passing touchdowns. So it was kind of odd to see them not be able to use one of their little swing routes or screen passes and get it to him, because he's been so good in this area of the field. But now you got double M7 coming out to try and tie the ball game up.
21 yards from the left hash. The kick is on its way, and it is good. We are knotted back up at 31 apiece. But the bad news for Minnesota, just under 3 minutes to go in the ball game, and they're going to kick it back off to the dangerous DC Dragons. And DC can milk this drive, Gerald, if they play it right. Heavy dose of Kevin Say, burn that clock. You could take up all 3 minutes and put it onto the foot of Potty for the game winner. See how it plays out. Kick taken back at about the 5-yard line, brought up to the 26.
Yeah, and I think they've had. I mean, DC's had a varying of time possession type drive, right? Their last couple of scores, right? One was almost 5 minutes, and the other one was just under 2 minutes.
And they've had the more balanced offense too.
Right. So I mean, it's in their hands right now. They can kind of control the game here.
Synergy hit as he throws, and that one's picked off. The first turnover of the game is going back the other way, inside the 30 to the 20, all the way down to the 17-yard line. Picked off by Daniel Wright. 1st down and 10 for the Legend inside the red zone.
Shabazz Synergy got hit while he was throwing it, caused it to sail a little bit too far. Got a wide receiver. Josh Gill tried to do what he could to be able to try and knock the ball down, is what he looked like he was trying to do, because he knew it was a little bit too far and he couldn't do it. Daniel Wright was right in the path of it, and it was an easy catch for him. And now they're inside the red zone. And oh man, they have a chance to put severe pressure on DC right here with a touchdown.
3rd pick on the season for Daniel Wright, the 15th of his career. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Legend. Reno down to the bottom. Adam Banks with the catch, gain of 5. and he slides out of bounds. It'll stop the clock with 2:37 to go. So they don't really have the opportunity here to milk the clock like DC could have. Gerald, only 11 yards away from the end zone, so they're really fighting for a touchdown here. They don't want to just settle for a field goal.
Yeah, it's not like it's a huge disappointment, right? Like it's not the end of the world. They have set up for a field goal, man, but they have a golden opportunity to go up by 7.
Swing route to Colin Hart. Oh, look at all that room. He gets down to the 4-yard line, first down and goal. I was expecting that spin move, but Riley Cuse wraps him up, brings him down. First and goal.
I was expecting him to hit somebody with a stiff arm right there, right? He's been doing that on kind of those swing routes quite often this evening, and he didn't quite did it. They was able to grab him and wrap him up, but look, they got 3 tries, right here to be able to get it in there, and this looks very much like a screen pass to Colin Hart out of this formation.
Reno, he's going to wait until after the 2-minute break. 2 minutes to go in this one, a very exciting ball game. We're all tied up, 31 apiece. Exciting finish after this. Stay with us. We'll be back. First down and goal from the 4. Under center. Colin Hart up top. They're going to go to him. Colin Hart in the backfield, tackled for a loss. And DC is going to burn their first time out.
I mean, I know DC was ready for that, right? I feel like now, right, in hindsight, them lining up in that formation before 2-minute warning and then coming out in the exact same formation after the 2-minute warning gave DC a look at what they were doing and like, we know what's coming, right? We're gonna be waiting on that, and they were.
Reno hands it off to Hart. Hart, can he get a rushing touchdown? He sure can. He powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. They're back out in front.
Oh, the way he kind of slipped right here, like that right there, right? He gave him just enough of the move for the defender to kind of slide right in front of him and jump and miss the tackle, and he was able to push his way into the end zone. And that had to be by far the best run for Colin Hart of all game.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only the best run for Colin Hart, but, man, what a game he's having so far. Over 100 all-purpose yards and now 4 touchdowns total combined between rushing and receiving. He's been getting it done in the receiving game all day long, but finally able to use his natural position as a running back to run through for 6. Minnesota out in front, 38-31. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green wrap up this amazing clash between the Dragons and the Legend, plus first reactions to the London-Los Angeles final, and they preview tomorrow's Next Level Sports matchup, Florida versus Denver. It's all coming up on the post-game update. But, Gerald, how soon will that post-game update be? We've got a minute 53 to go here in regulation, and the red-hot DC Dragons back out onto the field on offense. They've got a minute 49 to do it. 2 touchdowns is 2 timeouts. It's 4-down territory the rest of the way.
And I just seen your guy Bacigalupi take out the returner's legs on that one.
He does it all,
everything
man.
This game.
He does it all. Touchdown receptions, throws the ball to the fan in the crowd, and special teams tackles. Heck yeah, man. Synergy, short pass, goes for a gain of 3. Connected with Ronnie Shanahan, having a nice game himself. Synergy going deeper this time, over the middle. That one, dangerous pass. Daniel Wright was in on the coverage. Jay Taylor, we saw him get injured on Minnesota's last drive. Gerald, he will not return for this ball game, and that could come into play if this does indeed go to overtime.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? One of the few guys that's actually gotten hurt this game that can't come back in.
So on 3rd down and 7, a big 3rd down here for the Dragons. Synergy in the gun, 5 wide. Synergy, short pass over the middle. Can he get the first down? It's going to be a 4th down and 1, and DC is going to burn another timeout. Gus Scott falling just short of the line to gain at the 36.
I don't know if maybe they were trying to call a timeout, maybe get the boot to take a look at the ball, spotting of the ball. It looked like it was close, and we're not going to get another look at it or whatever. I don't know what they were looking at the booth, but they looked like it was like right at the line or right on the line. So this is it right here.
This is ball game. Yep. Synergy. Oh, wide open, Lauren Percoco. Why not go to the red hot Lauren Percoco? She's been getting the ball all day long. Now over 100 yards receiving on her 9th reception. Keeps the drive alive. Minute 15 to go. They got all kinds of time, Gerald. They're okay. Synergy goes back to Percoco again. She gets the catch up to the 35-yard line.
And she continues to find herself open. She's running good
16
routes,
yards open.
and they can't stay on her.
Synergy down to the bottom. Let's go to the fullback, Chuck Steller. He's going to go for a loss of 1. I'd recommend not going back to the fullback, Chuck Steller. No offense, Chuck. Lauren Percoco might be the better option. Now they're going to go up to Kevin Say this time. Kevin Say. Oh. 1 truck and 1 spin later makes it a 3rd down and 4. 36 seconds to go. They still have 1 timeout.
Yeah, if you're going to dump it off, Say's the better option.
Save that for later. Synergy. He's going to go to Percoco over the middle. She gets the catch, somehow just warping through the defender. 24 seconds to go as we got a 1st and 10 from the 15. They need the touchdown to tie. Synergy looks, fires over the middle, and it's caught just short. 1st down and goal from the 1. They burn their final timeout. 13 seconds to go.
And Churchill is back in the game, right? You mentioned that earlier. And he says, I can do my go-go gadget arms too, because he reached for that ball just like that. Look, and I do believe if they would hit him in stride, I do think he just, he doesn't walk into the end zone, but I think he has a better chance of scoring that, on that play right here. But hey, look, DC doesn't have any more timeouts. I mean, I do think they're going to have to throw the ball here. Running will essentially run. If you don't pick up the touchdown, you might run yourself out of, into a loss.
4 receivers into tight end in the set. Synergy under center. Synergy to throw. He's sacked. Can they get back to the line? 6 seconds to go.
No.
I don't think they're going to have time to get set, Gerald. 2 seconds, 1 second, and time expires. How close of an ending is that one? The Dragons fall here in Minnesota to the Legend. The Legend barely able to keep that one from going to overtime. That sack was the difference. They'll come away with a victory, 38-31. Gerald, your final thoughts on this one?
it came down to 1 yard right at the end, right? And it seemed like that's the way the ball, how the game flow was going, right? It was going back and forth. Seemed like it seemingly looked like the team who had the ball last was going to win this game. It didn't quite make it out to be that way with them getting that goal line stand. And I do think right at the end, man, if Synergy goes down immediately, he may have another chance at one more play. But look, credit to Minnesota, right, for having an offense as efficient as it was when that just hasn't been their MO all season, right? I mean, they had every answer to everything DC threw at them. DC scored. They came back and scored, right? Johnny Reno was amazing this game, right? 4 touchdown passes, 121 QBR for 373 yards. And it's just it was amazing game by them. And typically you think, hey man, when you grind out a game like they did today, it's all on the running back, but it wasn't. The running back out of the backfield did some good, but I mean it's total team win by Minnesota on this one.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. That was it was great back and forth, and DC, every time it was tied up, DC would score next and retake the lead. And I believe that was actually the first time the possession or the score was actually out in front for Minnesota was when they finally got 38 on the board. So the DC Dragons will fall to 8-2 on the season. Minnesota will advance to 6-4. They're now tied in their division with Sioux Falls. Next up for the DC Dragons next weekend, Saturday, October 1st. They will be on the road in Sioux Falls to take on those Sparrows. Minnesota will stay here at home next Saturday and host Charleston. Player of the game, Johnny Reno, 43 of 53, 408 yards, 4 touchdowns. Could arguably be made that Colin Hart could be a player of the game as well. They can share it. Final score, Minnesota 38, DC 31. For Gerald Smith, Dakota Butts, Mel Davis, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit. I am Mike Dagg saying thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Stay tuned for the SFL post-game update after the break with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. Don't go anywhere.
Well, welcome to the SFL's post-game update along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a victory for the Minnesota legend. And dare I say it, Mike, is this expansion team a championship contender? They just knocked off two of the top 3 teams in the SFL in back-to-back weeks. They've been sensational.
They've been sensational, Cam, and yes, this team is for real. You definitely don't want to see a team that can play defense the way that this team can in the playoffs. Of course, yeah, they gave up 31 points today, so that defense didn't show this. I lost my under today, Cam. Everybody expected this game to go under. We didn't expect the 4 touchdown passes from Reno and the 3 from Synergy, but Minnesota is for real. They have performed greatly all season long. They are basically the team that gave London their toughest competition early in this season. So yeah, it's going to be tough facing this team the rest of the way. They seem to be on a roll right now.
What a day for Lauren Prococo in the loss. 11 receptions, 130 yards for her today, and came up terrific on that last drive. DC is so great at 2-minute offense, Mike. We talk about it on this program all the time. Mm-hmm. And today they essentially did what they always do. They just came up 1 yard short. Huge credit to Minnesota's defense there with that double team tackle on Mike Churchill. And now Minnesota is 6-4. They're still tied with Sioux Falls for the Central, although one of their 4 losses was to the Sparrows earlier this season. So Sioux Falls still clinging to that lead in the Central Division. Minnesota does not play them again, so they're going to need some help if they want to be division winners. But this is a scary team, Mike. They're probably not going to be a top 4 seed. That means they're going to be a wild card somewhere. And if I was a team in the playoff picture right now, Mike, this would be the last team I would want to see on my side of the bracket.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, we know they can play defense, but then when you see Johnny Reno put up 400 yards of passing offense.
No picks.
Yeah, no picks. Doesn't turn it over. 4 touchdowns, and then we see Colin Hart get involved in the passing game the way that he did today. 3 touchdown catches and 4 touchdowns total to go along with the 88 yards coming out of the backfield receiving as well. So, the worst team you could play, the type of team that you really don't want to play, is a balanced team that could do it both offensively and defensively, and able to do it offensively so efficiently and not turn it over and put themselves in bad situations. Yeah, they're going to be dangerous last couple of games of the season.
Now, DC's not dead in the Atlantic Division. They still have Baltimore left. They're a game back of Baltimore. But if you run that split, if DC and Baltimore split and end up with the same record, the tiebreakers go all the way to division point differential to try to determine the division winner over in the Atlantic. So DC not done just yet, but the London Knights, Mike, continue to run away with things. They're now 10-0 and knocking on the door of the point differential record in the SFL in SFL history. And this team, Mike, you said it earlier, they've gone totally under the radar because everybody still thinks about, I still think about how they ended last season. That horrific blowout loss to Baltimore in the playoffs. It still sticks in my mind, but this team looks totally different, Mike. They do everything well.
Yeah, definitely the most complete team in the league right now. With no disrespect to Baltimore, we know who they are, but London, they have been just absolutely dominating on both sides of the ball this season. And aside from that, bad playoff loss that they had, they've really been on a roll, since about midpoint last season. This team has been great. They had to go on that roll then to even make the playoffs last season, and they continued that. They held most of this team together. They got some protection up front for Johnny Pickler. He was great again today, and 266 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Robert Merrill didn't have the type of game that we have become accustomed to seeing him do this season, but he did have a touchdown run. And then we saw Vin Callier sighting. He's been kind of quiet this season. He had 91 yards and a touchdown. So then you go over to the other side of the ball. Cam Frosby with a sack, Brandon Young with a couple of pick sixes. They've just been totally dominating offensively, defensively, and then that's why you see them on the verge of setting the SFL record in point differential.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon Ewing. 1 pick six in his career coming into today, 2 in the win over LA, and they won by 3 touchdowns, so they needed almost every one of them there from Brandon Ewing. Coming up on SFL YouTube later tonight, big game. Portland 4-5, Queen City 4-5, youtube.com/simulationfl. But tomorrow, Mike, It is a rematch of the season 12 and 16 championship game, and Denver's on the ropes. The 3-6 Night Wings take on the 5-4 Storm. Florida clinging to the lead in an ugly East Division. But this should be a good one because Denver's weakness is in their secondary, but Florida's weakness has been their passing offense. So Denver, this looks like a pretty decent matchup for them.
Good matchup for Denver and a very important matchup for Florida. I mean, they could really put a stamp on that East Division, especially with the loss from Louisiana last night. They could really put a stranglehold on it and probably go ahead and close that division out with a win. And Denver, they're going to be in desperation mode to want to stay in the playoff hunt. So as you mentioned, they're kind of weak in the secondary, kind of strong on the front four on the defensive line. Cochran has been unaccustomedly struggling this season. We are not used to seeing that from him. That Denver defense could probably give him problems, and we're going to look for a tough, close matchup. And O'Shaughnessy on offense for Denver is going to be huge in this game if they can get the running game going and control some clock against the Storm. And
with Arizona dropping, division is still in play if Vegas, Arizona, and Denver end up in some kind of three-way 6-6 tie. So Florida, Denver, big game tomorrow, 8:45 p.m. Eastern right here on Next Level Sports. This game lived up to the billing. A nice playoff preview. Minnesota beats D.C. 38-31 in a classic. For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for being here with us.